Hello and welcome to the short video of the Mindfulness Masters programme here at Bangor University. My name is Dr. Gemma Griffith and I work here at the Centre for Mindfulness Research and Practice, and I direct the Masters in Mindfulness programme. So I'm just going to take you through a little bit of information about the Masters. In this presentation, first I'm going to tell you a little bit about the background of the programme, and then I'll talk about the different routes that you can take. So first, the Masters in Mindfulness, the kind of principle of it is to support you to integrate mindfulness into your life and work. So a core principle that we work with is to support you to develop your own mindfulness practice. So you're really learning about yourself through mindfulness, which really supports an academic study or learning how to teach mindfulness. There's also wonderful opportunities to connect with a really vibrant community of fellow mindfulness practitioners. And many people report having friendships with people that they met on the course for many years. It's a flexible blended part-time degree. So that means for most modules, you'd visit Bangor only 3 times a year for that really vital in-person teaching, and then be studying from home the rest of the time. And some of our modules are completely online. There's tailored options, so you can choose to study mindfulness as an academic subject or train to be a mindfulness teacher. And also, we're really interested here at Bangor in diverse contexts and making mindfulness accessible. So you can really explore how to use mindfulness in a range of different teaching contexts and communities. So who is the Masters in Mindfulness for? Well, if you engage in mindfulness practice yourself and you'd really like to use this as a gateway to learning about yourself, through that deepening your own practice and also potentially supporting others in your life and work through your own practice, then this course is for you. Most people on the programme are mature students who are working either full or part-time, so they do this master's alongside, full-time or part-time work. There's a really diverse age range, so we have students from their 20s up to people in their 80s, and students have a really wide range of professional backgrounds. So healthcare workers, school teachers, therapists, counsellors, yoga teachers, artists. So the most important thing really beyond professional background is to have a really sincere engagement with your own mindfulness practice and learning. Why choose Bangor University? We are the oldest university mindfulness centre in the UK. We were founded in 2001. We have internationally renowned lecturers that work on our course and a really excellent student-teacher ratio. We're one of the leading organisations in the delivery of training programmes for mindfulness teachers and have been for a number of years. And we provide full teacher training to deliver a mindfulness course. So if you're a beginner or whether you have some years experience, this course is for you. Also, our staff are researchers. So if you're doing the research route, which I'll explain a bit later on in the presentation, just know that we are active researchers ourselves, and we integrate the latest developments in mindfulness right into the master's programme. So you're getting very up-to-date pedagogy and teaching methods with us. On this slide, you can see some of the books we have published as a team at Bangor. We're very keen practitioners and researchers and really at the cutting edge of new developments. And we regularly publish journal articles and also books, and here are a few here. And we incorporate the latest research and pedagogy into how we teach on the Masters. Another aspect of our enthusiasm for research and scholarship at Bangor is that 9 of our Masters students so far have published research in international journals. And this was based on the Masters thesis that they did right here in Bangor. Our course at Bangor, the Masters in Mindfulness, is an affiliate member of BAMBA, which is the British Association of Mindfulness-Based Approaches. And this is a sign of really high quality mindfulness training. So we adhere to their good practice guidelines to ensure integrity of teaching. And in fact, very recently in 2024, Bangor assessed our master's course as exceeding their requirements. And we were furthermore assessed as being an exemplar of good practice for equality, diversity and inclusion. So where is Bangor University? Well, we are right here in North Wales. There are direct train connections from London and Manchester, and good ferry and train connections from Dublin. And also, we do have people that fly in from overseas to come to our teaching weekends. And the nearest airport is Manchester Airport, which has really good train links with Bangor. And it's a beautiful location. So we're in between the Snowdonia Mountains and the Menai Straits. And often people will come over and spend a few days before or after the teaching weekends to explore the local landscapes. Just to say that the course is eligible for postgraduate student loan funding. So if you live in Wales, the requirement is that you complete the master's in 4 years, and you can find out more on their website. If you live in England, you might be eligible for a student loan. And one of the requirements for the student loan is that you complete the master's in 3 years. So just be aware of that. So you can find out more on the respective websites to see whether or not postgraduate funding might be an option for you. Moving on to the teaching structure. So we're a blended learning degree, which means you can study from home most of the time and have valuable in-person teaching experiences too. So it's roughly split into 5 teaching weekends per year, and 3 of those are on campus in Bangor. So you'd come to Bangor in October, January and May, and then there's some online teaching in November and March. And 3 modules don't require any traveling at all. This is mindfulness in the brain, the mindfulness teaching practice, and also the thesis modules. And there are tutorials between the teaching weekends, there are peer groups, there are lots of connections throughout the academic year beyond these 5 teaching weekends as well. So there's a lot of support available. These are questions I often get about the masters, which is, one is, how much time do I need to study? Well, each module of ours is a 30 credit module. So this is about 300 hours of study. And how much time you actually spend depends on your previous experience and also how deep you want to go with your reading or independent study. On average, for each module, there are 2 pieces of academic work. So this might be an essay with a presentation. And I've said this before in the presentation, but it's really worth saying that most students on the course do work full or part-time and are juggling family commitments along the master's degree. So we have a really good support system that we offer to help you along with studies. So there are 2 routes that you can choose from on the Masters. So one is an MA in teaching mindfulness-based courses. So this is for people who are interested in becoming a teacher of mindfulness. So you gain full training to become a mindfulness teacher, and you get a master's degree at the same time. So as well as the master's degree, you'd get something called the Certificate of Competence in Teaching a Mindfulness-based course. Now, this is the highest UK qualification for teaching mindfulness, and it's really highly sought after in the community. And then there's another route. So there's the MA or the MSc in mindfulness-based approaches. So this is for those that want to study mindfulness as an academic subject and deepen your own practice and explore research and scholarship. Now, you can take teaching modules as part of this route if you'd like to do some teacher training, and you gain a master's degree. So I'm going to talk about both of these in a little bit more detail. So this is what we call route 1, which is training to be a mindfulness teacher. So this takes 4 to 5 years to complete at the moment. We are hoping to offer a 3-year course upcoming in 2025. This is at the moment subject to validation. But for now, it's 4 to 5 years. So in the first year, you take a module called Foundation, which is all about your own mindfulness practice and establishing a good mindfulness practice. And then in your second year, you would do Teaching 1, In your third year, you do teaching 2, and then in your final year, you're doing the mindfulness teaching practice, which is where you get your certificate of competence. And in addition, you can choose from the Buddhist background module or the mindfulness in the brain module. And when you do this, is up to you. So you can do, if you wanted to complete this in 4 years, you would take one of these modules at the same time as taking another module. So you might do it in your first year. So you take foundation and teach and Buddhist background, for example. And then you take one module a year for the next 3. Or you could do foundation in year 1 and then Buddhist background in year 2 and then teaching one in year 3, and so take 5 years to do it. And it's completely up to you how long you choose to take the route for. So why might you want to take Route 1? So we teach people how to teach the core mindfulness curriculums that are rooted in mindfulness-based stress reduction and mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So this clear grounding is really helpful in itself, and it means that you can then easily pick up and specialize in other mindfulness-based curriculums, because in some way they're all based on these core 2 curriculums. And people train with us for many, many reasons. One is to gain a deeper understanding of their own mindfulness practice, to be part of, it's part of your professional development. People might want to explore a change of career direction, or gaining skills to teach and support others through mindfulness to grow and change in a positive way. And also joining a community of people who are also training to be mindfulness teachers. So the structure of the modules means that you tend to go through with the same cohort, and this supports a depth and connection with people on a similar pathway as yourself. So moving on to the second option, this is the Masters in Mindfulness-Based Approaches. Now, this takes between 3 and 5 years, depending on how quickly you want to progress, and this is entirely up to you. So these are the 3 core essential modules that will be taken. So the first is the foundation module, and then at some point you would take research, and then you would take thesis. And then you've got, you can take any of the 2 modules from the below here. So if, for example, if you're going to do this in 3 years, you would take, let's say, foundation in year 1, mindfulness in the brain in year 1. So you do 2 modules in that year. And then you might do research plus teaching 1 in your second year. And then you take your thesis in your third year. Or you might want to spread out your studies and do foundation in year 1, mindfulness in the brain in year 2, Buddhist background in year 3, and then research in year 4 and thesis in year 5. So it's entirely up to you. It depends how quickly you want to progress. The question I often get asked is for people who are taking route 2, so that's the route that ends with a thesis. Often would also like to explore how to use mindfulness with others, and can they do this on the course? The answer is yes. So if you're interested in building those capacities that really support approaching work and life in ways that are informed by the practice and teaching of mindfulness, you can take the Teaching 1 module. This really supports you to build interpersonal mindfulness skills, allows you to guide mindfulness practices, and also gives you foundational skills that are required to teach the mindfulness-based programs. There's also an option for those who wish to become a full mindfulness teacher to take the Teaching 1 module and then step off the masters and complete your training with an organisation called the Mindfulness Network that we work with very, very closely. All routes start with the foundation module as the first module taken, although, as I said, you can take another module at the same time, so you can take up to 2 modules a year. So this module, the foundation module, is a whole year dedicated to exploring your own mindfulness practice in depth, and it gives you the theoretical underpinnings of mindfulness. So entry requirements then. So for the course, the entry requirements are an undergraduate degree or equivalent life experience, around a 1-year personal meditation practice, and also have attended an 8-week mindfulness course. So all these acronyms, so this is mindfulness-based stress reduction, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, or a mindfulness-based cognitive therapy for life course. And online courses are accepted as long as they are one of these three. In terms of the application process, if you haven't already, it's worth reading the prospectus, and in there is a how to apply section, which takes you through step by step how to apply. You'd apply online, so there's a university online postgraduate admissions form. So once we get that through to us, once you submit it, we contact you and offer you an interview date for the course. So I say interview, but it's more of a chat because it's really about checking that you're on the right route for you, an opportunity for you to ask any questions and also meet the team. The last date to apply is the 1st of September. So the term begins in the first weekend of October. And so we interview and confirm places throughout the year. So the earlier you apply, the more chance you have of securing a place. Now, in terms of the fee structure, it's worth seeing the prospectus for the latest fees. But just to kind of say that there isn't an upfront fee, so you don't pay the whole thing at once. Instead, each module or modules are paid for as you take them. There are options to pay in a lump sum or in monthly instalments. For international students, the fee structure is a bit different. So have a look at the prospectus on the website for further details about that. And the course is eligible for student loan funding if you live in Wales or England. So it's really worth bearing that in mind. And if you exit the course after completing 2 modules, you gain a postgraduate certificate. If you exit after completing 4 modules, you gain a postgraduate diploma, or you might go all the way and graduate with a master's degree. But just so you know, there are exit options along the way for those of you that might want to do 1 or 2 modules. Now, if you want more information, please go to our Bangor Mindfulness website. You can either Google Bangor Mindfulness or go to the address that's just here, bangor.ac.uk/mindfulness. We also have monthly open days, usually at lunchtime. So go here to find out when the next one is. You can go to our website. The best resource for information is to have a look at our master's prospectus, which is available on our website.